clears it, but Hayes is going to bring it forward right away, and it goes to the stick of Davidson, over to Machar, through his legs, goes to the corner, he'll take a hard hit from Scanlon. But free puck to Davidson in the corner. He passes it in front, Beck scores! Tape to tape, it's 1-0 Laval!
Owen Beck with the goal. Welcome back to Habs Lunch here on TSN 690. It's Campbell versus Gallo. And the news out of the Montreal Canadiens today is that Owen Beck has been recalled. Who will he replace? Well, we don't know. We know that David Savard and Josh Anderson needed therapy days. Brendan Gallagher took a personal day, and Kirby Dach is having a lower body injury evaluated. So, all that aside, from now until the end of the year, where does Beck fit? Beck having a very strong first year of professional hockey. He's played 47 games with the Laval Rocket, 13 goals and 32 points. Campbell, I've been a big fan of this player since he was in junior. And when I saw him play at his first training camp, I thought immediately, this guy is going to be an everyday NHL player pretty darn soon. He's got great elite hockey sense, knows his way up and down the ice. He just has to mature a little bit as a player, but I can see the potential. That was about 3 years ago. Now he's here full-time in the Canadian system, playing with the Rocket for the most part, getting called up now. But as far as the Rocket and Owen Beck, you've seen him play live a lot more than I have. So your breakdown on Beck.
I think he's ready. I think he's NHL ready with what I've seen, what he's done in the NHL small sample size, and it's also a small sample size, not in the role that he regularly plays. He's a center iceman. He's not one of those center icemen that one day might be on the wing, and we'll see what the future is for the Jack Eyes and the Kapanens. But Owen Beck is a center iceman. I would love to see him get an opportunity, and we'll see what happens at the trade deadline when you have guys like Evans and Dvorak likely on the move for the Canadiens, and that's going to open up a spot. So I think the future for Owen Beck is now. The future is sooner than later. A lot of people penciling Owen Beck next year. He'll find this spot with the Canadiens when they move on. When they move on from their center iceman at the trade deadline, I think there's a spot for him. Even if they don't, and they re-sign Evans and they can't trade Dvorak, I think that there's a spot for him on the wing as a fourth-line guy. If you need him, I think you're going to see him down the stretch. I don't think his time with Laval is done. But Owen Beck is primed and ready for the NHL, and the opportunity is there. He gets this call-up. They are not calling him up to be the 13th forward. You call someone else up to do that. The Canadiens, as an organization, know how important it is for him to play games. So much so, at one point between the Rocket and the Canadiens, he played 5 games in 6 nights. Owen Beck is ready for the show. He's ready. When he got sent down for the Four Nations face-off, he was one of the Rockets' best players, and he was playing at a pace I had not yet seen. He does what you want, and we'll see that progress slowly at the NHL level. But he can play every night in the NHL today. No doubt about it in my mind.
You think he can play now, but you don't know he can play now, and management doesn't know whether or not he can play now. Everybody has their opinion and their belief, and you might be right, Campbell. I'm not telling you that you're wrong. I'm saying we don't know, which is why I'm not going to pencil him in for next year. I guess I could pencil him in because pencils have erasers. I'm not going to put him in permanent marker in the lineup next year. The Canadiens have to give Beck a chance to play center, get an every shift opportunity.
Well, he might get that opportunity if Dach can't go tomorrow. Mm-hmm. He didn't practice today. He might be playing. But he might get an opportunity with Newhook and Laine.
It has to be for an extended period of time. Mm-hmm. This is audition time for Owen Beck. This is a chance to show that, you know what, the Canadiens don't have to look outside the organization to replace Evans and Dvorak. The replacement is in-house. He has to prove to them that that's the case.
Would you, just quickly, if Dach can't go, would you put him right up with Laine and Newhook?
Yes, I would.
Because I wouldn't touch the Dvorak line, and I wouldn't touch...
And I'm trying to predict what Martin St. Louis is going to do as well. He doesn't like messing around with lines too much. I mean, take a look at when Patrick Laine went down, and Michael Pezzetta had to come in. Michael Pezzetta was the one playing with Newhook and Doc. That's just the way they've been operating. I have no problem with it either, to see him in
that situation,
an offensive role.
Yeah.
Campbell, in this audition, I want to see him play everywhere a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. I like that he's already started on the wing. He hasn't played center, but I'd like to, you
show me what you got. Show me what you got.
But I think this audition is now to the trade deadline. There will be free bodies after the trade deadline, free spots depending what comes back. And I know that the Rocket would miss him down the stretch, but they would get him back for the playoffs. There's no doubt about that in my mind with what Owen Beck could do with this group. So he's going to see a lot of hockey, and they are testing him, and they're going to see what he can bring. But I think Owen Beck has a leg up on anybody else forward-wise within all the prospects with the Laval Rocket. He is the guy that is knocking on the door. And like I said, I think starting Tuesday, he can play every night in the National Hockey League.
Think about it from management's point of view as well. Campbell, with the way Uri Slavkovsky played last game, and the way Lane Hudson has handled himself in his rookie year, if Owen Beck finishes the season on the Canadiens roster and the Canadiens feel confident that he can have an everyday spot day one on next year in the NHL, management crushed their first draft, which was here in Montreal at the Bell Center. If you walk away from that draft with a top 6 player, a middle 6 player, and a top pairing defenseman, we don't really see 3 picks in a row made by the same team all pan out and be great players. This has the potential with Slavkovsky, Beck, and Hudson, who were the Canadiens' 3 picks at the draft at the Bell Center.
Last time a Canadiens draft went that way, are we talking about, was it McDonough, Subban, Pacioretty? Was that they all in the same draft?
I believe so.
I believe those 3 were in the same draft.
And McDonough never even played for the Canadiens.
No, but I meant they drafted
the draft
a player.
was a success, but not for the team, right?
No, because they traded away the player. But my point is they drafted 3 players that became the 3 players that they were. Mm-hmm. When you take your first 3 picks and are able to go, home run, double, triple, you're almost hitting for the cycle.
Yep.
No matter how you want to break it down. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Owen Beck and what he can bring with the Montreal Canadiens over the next few weeks.